Hello everybody, welcome back. I'm Lisa with Lisa Capen Quilts. Today I just have a little disclaimer. I am in no huge hurry to get through today's video. We have so much I'm going to show you today. So if you're watching on the replay, we're going to be doing the ornaments first. And then we're going to go over some other stuff, and I'll tell you what that is here in just a second. First, I want to tell my moderators, thank y'all so much. Y'all have a big job. You take out so much stress from me, and I appreciate y'all keeping an eye on the chat. Thank you so much. Today, we're going to be making some of these classic cookie cutter ornaments, and there's a free pattern in the description box for the gingerbread man if you want to go and print that off and follow along with me. I have done absolutely no pre-cutting of anything. I have scraps of fabric, I have scraps of batting, and we're making these ornaments from the very scratch, no pre-cuts done. I'm going to show you how I can quickly make these ornaments with some scraps. It's so great to see y'all. Y'all grab the free gingerbread man. Now there is a set, and I'm going to show you that here in a second, where you get not only the gingerbread man and the instructions, but you get 6 other cookie cutter shapes. So you'll see that too if you want to get the set, but the gingerbread man is free. So I want to make sure you get him down in the description box. Yeah, like I just said, I am in no big hurry. So if you are here and you're watching live, but you have to leave before we're done, make sure to come back on the replay if you're interested in all the stuff I'm going to show after these ornaments are done. Last week, I said that this was going to be our last ornament in the ornament series. We're going to move on to making a junk journal. And then, wouldn't you know it, after we were done, I missed a comment that said, Lisa, would you show some of your journals that you've already made? And I saw that after we started streaming, or else I would have run over and grabbed a few. So I have a stack of journals that I've made in the past. We're going to do a quick flip through of those so you can kind of see my style of journals, what I like to create. And then I have been collecting since last Thursday some junk. So I'm going to issue a challenge, if you will, of stuff you can start collecting if you want to follow along in the junk journal series. We're making the bones of that book with stuff we would normally throw away. So that's going to be fun, but that's all going to be after we make our ornaments today. It is so great to see y'all. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. It's so great to see y'all. Let's see, today I have some raspberry tea, a hot tea from Linda. My friend Linda sent me a handful of tea bags, so today I have my hot tea from Linda. And I'm ready just to chill out and make some ornaments. I'm going to flip my screen here in just a second. It's so great to hang out with a bunch of friends. I love Thursdays, a chance to create and a chance to just hang out with y'all. So great to see you. So let me flip the screen over. I'm going to show you this pattern. Y'all, I have stuff everywhere. If you could see what's behind the cameras, it's like chaos here on my table. But first we're going to focus on this pattern. Thank you, Dari. Yeah, it's the truth, okay? Not just chips and guac. Cookies, cheese dip, all kinds of junk food. I'm a junk food person. But yeah, isn't that funny? All right, so the free pattern, y'all, is the gingerbread man. And with him, you get some basic instructions. And this is what he looks like, okay? That's the gingerbread man. I decorated him with puffy paint. We'll be showing you that today. So you get the gingerbread man. But if you want to make him quilty, I gave a couple of examples of different ways you could do some patchwork and make it quilty. Okay? And then, so this is the free pattern. But if you get the set, you get the basic cookie cutter shapes, right? You got a star, a Christmas tree, a stocking, a heart, a snowman, and a candy cane. Let me show you. You're going to cut out your shapes just like that on the black line, just like this. Here's our shapes. Today, we're going to make a snowman. We're going to make a Christmas tree, and we're going to do the gingerbread man, the free pattern, okay? Those are the three that we're going to make, but you basically just cut them out on the line. Oh, Kayla, I don't know how long you can stick around, honey, but in one of my journals, while you're here, let me see if I can find it. Let me get sidetracked for just a second. I was going through one of my journals today. Yes, Kayla, look, do you remember drawing in my journal at church? You wrote your name and everything. And then look, honey, you did your paw print, or your handprint, and Bethany did hers. And then you drew me all these really beautiful pictures. Do you remember doing that? I saw that today. I'm so glad you stopped by so you could see that. So yeah, hello, sweet Kayla. All right, so yeah, you get all these cookie cutter shapes. Today we're going to be making those, but I've already made examples because I had so much fun with this pattern, y'all. So here's my gingerbread man. I did the star as a snowflake cookie and as a patchwork star ornament. I did not put hangers on these yet. So that's two different ways you could use the star pattern. And then I did a candy cane and decorated that like it was a sugar cookie. Here's the Christmas tree I did with a basic 4-patch. Look at the little snowman. I decorated him like a cookie, but today I'm going to do him in scrappy patchwork, so you'll get to see that here in a minute. I did the heart with just some strips and the stocking with some strips as well. So aren't they cute? You could write someone's name on this. Super, super cute. I'm going to move all of those out of the way. I'm going to move the pattern out of the way, and we're going to jump in and get started. Again, a huge thank you to my moderators for helping me moderate the chat. I don't have to worry about that. And like I said, I have not pre-cut anything. Okay, we're just working with some scraps of fabric today, and I have a scrap piece of batting left over from a quilt. This is an 80-20 piece of batting. You see how thin that is? This is the type of batting I like to use for my smaller projects. And then I have a couple of pieces of fabric that we can use for the back of the ornaments, just random Christmas fabric. And then I have some fabrics for the top. So the gingerbread man, I'm going to use a solid piece of brown fabric, and we're going to decorate him just like he were a gingerbread cookie, right? The snowman, I'm going to put together a quick 4-patch from some scraps of white fabric that I have. And for the Christmas tree, I want to do a salvage edge Christmas tree. So I've collected several different random salvage edges, and these even have Christmas sayings on this. All hearts come home for Christmas. Isn't that cute? So we're just going to put together a random strip set for the Christmas tree, and I have all these different scraps here that we can use for that. So that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. And I have some silky ribbon. Offray silky ribbon as my hangers. Bye, Miss Kayla. I'm so glad you could stop by. I love you. I can't wait to see you. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's see, where's my scissors? I have my iron heating up. We might need that here in a minute. So the instructions, y'all, I have not given any predetermined sizes because we're just going to be working with scraps with this pattern. Just pull out some fabric. What you really need is the fabric for the top pretty side of your ornament just needs to be bigger than your template, right? So we're just going to roughly cut out a piece of this brown fabric. Y'all can see I've already cut bits and pieces off already. We're just going to lay this template right on there, and we're going to make this piece just random but bigger than our template. So we don't have to measure. We don't have to break out the rotary cutter. So there's our top fabric for the gingerbread man. I'm going to give that a press because it's a little wrinkly. Body by Chips and Guac. Isn't that funny? I'm going to give that a press. I'm going to cut off a piece of batting for this ornament. I'm just going to use my top fabric as a template, just like this. Just like this, no special measuring. So there's our batting. And for this ornament, let's use this green and red fabric because that's pretty. Again, we're just going to bring these pieces over and use those as a guide to cut out a back fabric. Just like that. So there's my fabric pieces for the gingerbread man. See how quick that was? There's that one. Let's see, for the snowman, we're just going to make up a random piece of patchwork, y'all. I have several different pieces of white fabric here. Let's see, and I'm just working from my scrap basket, so I've not measured anything. I'm just going to start building a top like this. Let's see, it needs to be bigger than our snowman. So, let's see what we have here. There we go. Now, I have some brown thread in my sewing machine, and we're going to make it work. So you might see my seams a little bit better. Let me give these pieces a press real quick. Just flatten them all out. Being in my scrap basket, they get a little wrinkly. So for my snowman, I'm going to put together a random piece of patchwork, just like this. So let me switch you over to the sewing machine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to join these two pieces together, and then I'm going to sew this larger piece right onto the bottom right there. So 1 and 2 seams, and we have a simple patchwork for the snowman. I'll bring this over. Simple, simple, simple. Let me see. Let me change this presser foot real quick. I have my open toe foot. Oops, that's not even the right one. Lisa, focus. I'm just going to piece these together with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. It doesn't have to be precise or perfect. I love that. I love that. See how quick this is? Now I'm just going to open this up while we're right here and just finger press that for a minute. And I'll bring in this bottom piece. And I'm going to lay the pretty side right on the bottom. And we're going to sew that seam. So just like that, we have a pretty little piece of patchwork. Again, I'm using brown thread, but that's okay. So there's my random piece of patchwork for the snowman. I'm going to give that a quick press. Nice and flat, just press those seams. Just like that. As long as this top piece of fabric is bigger than the snowman, that is perfect. Now, I've made this big so we could actually play with this patchwork all over the place, right? And depending on where we place our patchwork is going to be, let's see, like this was a square 4 patch, but depending on the placement of it is the look that I got with my Christmas tree, right? So there's plenty of room for playing with the placement. I think that's fun. Let's cut out a piece of batting for our snowman. This is one of the reasons why I always save my scraps of batting for these small projects. It comes in so handy, right? Let's see, for the snowman, let's go ahead and use this fabric. That'll be cute. I'm just doing a rough cut, just like that. No measuring. So there are my pieces for the snowman. We'll have some really cute patchwork with that one. Yes, orphan blocks. Perfect idea. Perfect. Now for the Christmas tree, we're going to do this one as a quilt as you go with all of these scraps and salvage edges, okay? So for the Christmas tree, we're going to do this one a little bit different. I'm going to cut a piece of batting that is bigger than my Christmas tree template. This is going to be a raw edge quilt as you go, which is a lot of fun. Just like that. I'm going to just start bringing in these little scraps of fabric. Like this. Let's see, for the base, let's do this dark blue for the base. What I'm going to do, there's all different ways that y'all could do this, okay? I'm just going to start covering this piece of batting with some strips of fabric. And when I say that this is fast, I mean it. This is super fast. I'm just going to start laying these fabric pieces right over top. See, we can even trim some of them. I'm just using a washable glue stick, the clear one, and just layering these pieces. That's it. Let's see. I can even cut this one in half, just like this. So this is really fun. This part you could have the kids come in and glue down a bunch of strips of fabric for you, right? Let's see, let's bring in this salvage edge. It has the little colored dots on it. Looks like Christmas tree ornaments. We're just going to keep building up these layers until it goes all the way up past our stencil. Let's see, let's bring in this one. I'm going to glue this. I'm going to dry this glue here in just a minute with my iron. So I'm not worried about bringing any wet glue over. I won't have to worry about that. We're just going to keep building onto this. Just like that. This one will be super duper scrappy, right? Do we have connection issues? Is that me? I have a green light. I'm hoping everything is coming through okay. Let's see. Let's finish up with this blue fabric. See how fast that was? Now I'm just going to take my iron and I'm going to dry all of that glue. So everything's going to stay right in place. We're not bringing any wet glue over to the sewing machine. And all of our fabrics are going to be basted right in place. Super, super scrappy. I love using the salvage edges in projects. So now my glue is dry. I'm going to bring this over to the sewing machine, and there's so many different things you could do, right? You could do a satin stitch on your raw edges. You could do a zigzag stitch or any of the decorative stitches in your machine. For today's video, I like to keep these raw edges, so I'm just going to do a straight stitch and stitch each one of these pieces permanently down. That's not only going to permanently attach my fabric, but it's also going to give me a quilted look because we have the batting underneath. Okay? So many different ways you could do it. This is just a quick way to get that quilted look. Let's see, let's raise that needle up. And I'm just going to do a straight stitch right close to that raw edge on each one of these little scraps. Just like that. Whoops, I didn't mean to cut the thread. We'll just flip the piece around and come back the other side. I think this one is going to be super cute. You could even, if you're doing it this way, fray the raw edges and give it like a rag quilt. That would be so cute. And just like that, y'all, we've made a scrappy salvage edge top for our Christmas tree. So see how fast that was? Super duper fast. And it's just bigger then the template for my Christmas tree, just like that. So now we need a backing fabric for this one. Let's see. We've used that one and that one. And let's use this one for the back of this. I know this is super huge for this ornament, but believe me, I do not throw away any of the scraps that I'll be cutting off of this. And let me give that a quick press too. So just like that, y'all. No pre-cuts. I've just worked out of my scrap bin and we've made the tops of 3 different ornaments. 3 different ways. All right, here's my back fabric for that one. Now, if you're making these with me live, I'm going to just sit and chat with y'all for a minute in case you want to catch up, okay? So we have our Christmas tree. We have our snowman, and we have our gingerbread. It's so great to see y'all. Wow, you're in Somerset, UK. Hello. Oh my goodness, that tea is so good. Oh, it's so good. Raspberry today. So, when we put these ornaments together, the instructions tell you to do it a little bit more of a traditional way, but today I'm going to show you a little bit of a shortcut, and you could do it either way, okay? Now, if you've watched any of my last ornament videos or the pin cushion series or even some of my mug rug series, then y'all know I'm not that great at leaving an opening and turning things right side out. I struggle turning the project right side out, and then my opening is always a little bit messy. It just is. I struggle with that. And so today I'm going to show you a little bit of an alternative, and you might want to try it. It might be something that's useful for you if you struggle with turning your opening right side out. Okay, so the instructions tell you to lay your batting down. Let's see, let's use the snowman as an example. The instructions say to start with your batting, and we're going to make our layers for our ornament. Batting, back fabric with the pretty side up, and your top fabric with the pretty side down. Then you can pin your template in place. And at this point, you can use your template. You don't have to trace it on the fabric. You can just pin it in place. You're going to sew all the way around your ornament, leaving an opening to turn this right side out. Okay, that's the way the instructions tell you to do it, which is pretty basic, traditional way to do it. I struggle. So the way that I'm going to do it is I'm going to lay my batting down first. I'm going to lay my top fabric down next with the pretty side facing up, like that. Then I'm going to lay my back fabric down with the pretty side facing down. And then I'm going to lay my snowman right on top. Just like that. And I'm going to pin him in place. And when I bring this to the sewing machine, I am not leaving an opening. I'm going to sew all the way completely around the edge of my snowman. And I'll show you how I turn it here in just a minute. Let me just trim some of these extra bits off like that. That'll go back in my scrap stash. So he's ready to bring over to the sewing machine, and I'll show you again with the gingerbread man. Let's get him ready. Batting fabric, top fabric with the pretty side facing up, the back fabric with the pretty side facing down, our gingerbread man template on top, and I'm going to pin him down. Two pins should be enough just to hold him right in place and keep those layers from shifting. And now he's ready. And then our salvage edge tree. Let's trim some of this off. I don't think we need all of this extra. That goes in the scrap. So we have our batting, our top fabric, our back fabric with the pretty side down, and our Christmas tree template right on top. And we're going to pin that in place. Sherry wants to know, won't your batting be exposed? Nope. Nope. I'm going to show you how this comes together here in just a minute, Miss Sherry. All right, so there's the 3 pieces we're bringing over to the sewing machine. This is probably the part that's going to take me the longest. I'm going to lower my stitch length. I'm just using a straight stitch. But I like my stitches to be a little bit closer together. So I'm going to lower my stitch length to a 1.8. That helps me keep all the curves really close together in that seam. And yeah, we're ready to start. Again, I'm not going to leave an opening. You can do it with an opening, but I'm going to show you how I do it without. It is so great to see. I'm going to clear some of this off so that when we come back, it's a little bit straight here. Y'all would not believe the stack of stuff I have where the camera is not showing. It's just like a whole big stack of stuff. All right, I'm going to switch over to the sewing machine. I'm going to switch my foot back over to the open toe foot because I have an easier time following at the edge of the pattern if I'm using my open toe foot. So just like that. Again, I've lowered the stitch length a little bit. And now we are just sewing all the way around our template. It doesn't really even much matter where you start. I'm going to do a couple back stitches just to lock that in place. And now we're sewing. We're just going all the way around this ornament. I'm going to try to go kind of quick, so hopefully my ornaments aren't sloppy. But I do encourage you to slow down and take your time with yours. Ordinarily, I would put on some music and just really take my time and enjoy this part of the process. You can see when I go around the curves, I just take a stitch or two at a time and then rotate that shape right around. Coming back up. Going around the top of that tree. And then completing this stitch line all the way. I'm going past where I started, and then I'll do some back stitches to lock that in place. So there's our Christmas tree. Let me bring over the gingerbread man. We'll start up here with the gingerbread man. The curves and the points are the hardest parts for me to turn to get it pretty. So I try to take my time in the curvy areas. Just make sure we're still going. This part of the whole ornament is probably going to be the part that takes you the longest, right? Just trying to follow along that edge. Coming back around the other side. These ornaments do go together really quickly though. I made like 8 of them in an afternoon, and that was experimenting with different patchwork and all kinds of stuff, and even decorating some of mine to look like cookies. So you could make a whole bunch of these pretty quickly. All right, we're almost back to where we started with this one. I'm going to go beyond where I started and then lock that in place. And that one's done, and then we just have the snowman. We'll start up at the top with the snowman, and if y'all have questions for me, as soon as I'm done sewing the snowman, then we'll do questions. Going around the brim of his hat. coming along the bottom side. If you sew on the paper just a little bit like I just did, that's okay. It'll come right off. I know my fingers are probably in the way. And we're almost there, y'all. Almost there. Again, I'm going to pass where I started and then backstitch, and we're done. We're done. All right. So here we are. That was pretty quick, right? That's 3 ornaments. Just like that. If y'all have questions on something that I've done to this point, if you want to type it in all caps, that makes it really easy for me to see. But one of the things I love about our live sessions is that the other members watching usually help out with the questions. But if you have a question that's not been answered yet, I would love to help. I'm going to go ahead and remove these pins. Just like that. Just like that. Joan, she said, how can I get the patterns? They are in the description box of this video. So if you've never opened the description box of a video, you'll leave the live chat because you won't be able to see it from there. Okay, so you'll X out of the live chat. And if you're on a cell phone, look next to the title of the video. It'll say the title of the video, and to the right will be a little gray arrow. Click on that, and it opens up the description box. The Gingerbread Man is free, so make sure you grab that, okay? But there is another link that gives you the whole set, all of the different shapes. But make sure you get the free one. If anything, get him, because he's super cute. But if you're watching on the computer, look underneath of the title of the video. You'll see a caption either right under the title or towards the center of your screen that says show more. If you click on that, it opens up the description box, and that's where the patterns are. What's really cool is once you cut these out, you can save them and reuse them. So you really only have to cut them out one time, just like that, and keep on reusing them. So now, because of the brown thread, I'm thinking you can see the little outline. We're just going to trim all the way around, getting rid of a lot of this extra stuff. I will be saving this extra stuff, and I'm going to show you why at the end of today's video, if you want to stick around. But I'm just trimming, giving myself a little small allowance beyond that sewing line. Just like this, like that. Trying to be really careful with my shaky hands not to cut into that sewing line. Have you ever done that? Gone through the whole process of sewing something like this together and then you accidentally cut through it? You got to start all over again or somehow fix it. So there's my gingerbread man. I do like to go in these curvy areas and just do little snips in that curve. Kind of help that lay a little bit flatter. Seems to help a little bit. Just some little snips in that fabric. Again, being careful not to go too far. You don't want to accidentally cut that little stitch line. Cut, cut, cut right in those curves. Here's another one. Just like that. How do you finish this up? Joyce, I'm getting ready to show you as soon as I trim all this extra stuff. Would it be possible to get a printout of the pattern set sent to me? Well, the pattern set is in my Etsy shop. It is an instant download. I don't usually send out copies. So I'm not sure how that would work. If by chance you really want this set, but you don't have a computer or a printer, email me. Send me an email to lisacapenquilts@gmail.com, and we will figure out a way through PayPal or something like that. And then I will send you a copy. I try not to do that because I'm not really set up to print out a bunch of copies, but at a last resort, if you do not have a family member or anywhere to go to get it printed, then let me know, because if you really want it, then I want to make sure that you get it, okay? This Christmas tree has a couple little curves at the bottom that I want to snip right there to help that lay nice and pretty when we flip it right side out. That. So there's our Christmas tree. This top I'm going to trim that allowance really close to the stitch line because that's a lot of extra to be fitting right in that tip of the Christmas tree. I think it would be fun to have a cookie decorating party. That would be fun. And now we're just going to trim up this snowman. The snowman's got a little bit of a thicker part right here because of that patchwork that we put in there. But we'll just carefully cut through that. Trim that off. And just come down and finish trimming him off like this. And let me just cut these little end curves right where his head and body meet and in that hat. Thank you, Dari. Thank you. All right, I think that should be good. Now, at this point, we have 3 ornaments that I do not have an opening for. So this method that I'm showing you is really my shortcut, okay? So you don't have to do it this way, but I thought I'd show you how I do it. That just makes it so much faster and easier for me. okay? I forego leaving an opening to turn it. I sew all the way around, okay? And then, because we put the back fabric on the top, let's see, how long have you been quilting? Since 1990, wow, let's see, when was it? 1994? That's when my son was born. And my daughter was born in 1998. 1998 is when I started quilting. But I took a long time when my kids were little where I did not even touch my sewing machine. So I had a long time where I did not do any quilting, but I started in 98. All right, so this is the back fabric on top. I'm going to just take the little tip of my scissors. You could use a seam ripper too. I'm going to come in at the top of the ornament. Okay, so this is the body and the hat's up here. I'm just going to poke my pair of scissors through that top layer. Just in that top layer, and I'm going to do a little snip. And then I'm going to make a cut going straight down like this. Okay? See that little cut? We're going to cover this cut up here in just a minute with the hanger, so you'll never even see that we've done this. You'll never see it. You could even put a cute little tag that says handmade by Dari, handmade by Linda. You could put a little tag on this when you're done. You could put a piece of applique over it to hide that cut. But when I do it like this, I don't have any funny edges where I've left that opening. For me, it is so much easier. I'm just going to reach in, grab the base of this snowman, and pull it right through that cut. Which is easier said than done. Whoa! Hello in Australia. Wow, we have all different kinds of places today. Canada, the USA, the UK, and Australia. Don't you love the internet? It brings people together from all over the world. Once I have this somewhat turned, I'm just going to run my finger along those seams like that. We still have the tip of his hat to turn. Like that. And like that. Where's my little pokey tool? I went to the Dollar Tree a couple weeks ago and they had this little embossing tool at the Dollar Tree. This is my new pokey tool for poking out those corners like that. And like that. And then the little brim of his hat is hidden in there. We got to poke that out. Just like that. Where are you? There we go. Poking, poking, poking all these little parts out. There's the other side of his brim. And over here. There we go. Sometimes what I like to do is get a whole bunch of ornaments or pin cushions to this point. And then when I'm sitting at night watching TV, I like to keep my hands busy. So at night when I'm watching TV, I'll sit and turn these items because I'm usually really slow at this part. And I just sit with my pokey tool and poke all of the parts out. So there's the top of our ornament with the scrappy patchwork. You see that? Isn't that cute? Here's the slit we're going to cover up in just a minute. I'm going to go ahead and press him nice and flat. Just like that. My iron cooled off a little bit. She went to sleep. For the batting, I like to use really thin batting. So my preferred is like an 80-20 or an all cotton batting. Those tend to be pretty thin, right? I like those for smaller projects like this. This little brim is a little wonkety on one side, but that's okay. So there's our snowman. Let's go ahead and repeat the process for the Christmas tree. Just sticking in the tip of my scissors in that top layer and cutting a slit straight down. I do, Sally. I need a pair of those for turning things. I think that would make it a lot easier. Because this is not my strong suit. It really isn't. But it does give me something to do at night when I'm watching TV. And I do think I struggle a little bit more when people are watching. Like at night, it just does not seem to be this difficult. This is the ornament that we did the scrappy quilt as you go raw edge piecework. Just turning that all the way out like that. And then running my finger along those seams. Mimsy said, okay, we won't look. Got to turn the little tip of that tree like that. Y'all, I have had so much fun with this ornament series. So if you've been watching the ornament series all along, which one has been your favorite ornament so far that we've done together? I really like the quilted angel. She is so cute. I like the churn dash ornament that we did too. That was really cute. Where's my pokey tool? Let's go poke these corners out. The angel, yeah, she's pretty. Poke, poke, poke. Poking those edges out. Let's flatten it out and see how that, ooh, isn't that cute? I still have to poke out the very tip of this tree. You can do it, tree. You can do it. It's a lot of fabric. I cut that slit probably too close to the very tip, but we're going to make it work. We're going to make it work. There we go. Ta-da! There we go. Isn't that cute? A little salvage edge Christmas tree. Let me give that a press. Super cute. There's that one, and we have one left. This time I won't cut the slit all the way close up to the top. I'll come down a little bit. We're just going into that top layer and cutting a slit. Just like that. I want to check out that little hemostat. Thank you, Miss Hazel. I enjoyed our conversation. Was it yesterday we were chatting? Yesterday morning? Over on Facebook. If y'all haven't joined me yet on Facebook, this might be the first time you're watching. In the description box, there's a link to my Facebook, and there's a link to the Creative Crew group. We have so much fun over there, y'all. We have so much fun. Jackie, you have troubles turning these things too? Glad I'm not the only one who struggles with this. The gingerbread man has all different curvy parts you gotta poke out, right? He's got his arms and his legs. I'm just gonna start pushing. But this is one of the reasons why I lower the stitch length when I'm sewing around the edges of my ornaments and stuff, because I can really come in and work pushing these pieces out. I still have to be a little careful, but the stitches are really close together, and it helps keep that seam together as I'm poking out all of these edges. There we go. He's just going to take some extra love, that's all. Extra love for the gingerbread man. Poking, poking. He's worth all the extra attention you have to give to him because he's so cute when you get him done. So there's one leg. Let's get the other one down here at the bottom. Pokey, pokey, pokey. Y'all, I saw that the governor of Virginia is coming on at 2 o'clock today to talk about some new restrictions in our area. I have no idea what that's going to be yet. We'll see what that's going to be. Really over the restrictions. I'm just kind of over it, right? It's like, what now? What else? We're almost done poking. All right, let's see what that looks like. If we flatten him out, I gotta poke his head out too. But see, y'all, if you do it this way, all of your edges, there's no weird little turn. My turns always look a little bit different than the rest of my ornament. I think I could really take my time and go in here and work these seams nice and flat, but I'm going to go ahead and press him the way that he is, just like this. We'll give him a press and see what he looks like. He's a little wrinkly. He's a little wrinkly. Terry said, I am new to YouTube. What happens if you subscribe? If you subscribe to my channel, you'll get little notifications when I publish new videos. Or when I go live, you'll get a little pop-up that says, Lisa is now live. So if you want to join in, you don't miss anything. But we usually go live on Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. There's my little gingerbread man. He's a little wrinkly, but that's okay. Yeah, and that's really it. If you subscribe, you get notified when new videos are published on my channel and when I go live. So yeah, it's just an easy way to follow along with your favorite YouTube people. Claire asked, do you have any Hanukkah mug rugs? I do not. However, I was tempted to make one, and then I totally ran out of time. This whole month, November and into December, we're already on the 10th, has just flown by. It has flown by. But if you're interested in one, send me an email, lisacapenquilts@gmail.com, or go over to my Etsy shop, because you can send me messages through Etsy, and they come right up on my phone. So I get notified every time I get a message on Etsy. kind of like a messaging app. And I'll see what I can do. I have a few things coming up, but I do have a little bit of spare time. So I'll see what I could do. But I almost did, and I completely ran out of time. So here are our ornaments, just like this. Now, you could, in today's video, I'm not going to do this, but you could go around with a little running stitch all the way around the edge. See how that just gives it a nice little quilty completed look? Just doing a running stitch all the way around the edge of your ornament. I did that on each one of these. You don't have to though. You could just leave them just like this, and that's what I'm going to do with these. However, to cover up the little slit where we turned it on the back, we're going to flip it over. I'm going to take a piece of ribbon. A piece of ribbon just like this. I'm going to take some Fabri-Tac glue. This is my favorite glue. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you. I'm so thankful for my moderators. Y'all are awesome. I'm going to first add a little bit of this glue right to the ribbon and put that together. Just like that. And then right where this slit is, I'm going to take a little bit of this glue and we're going to cover up that opening right on the back, and no one will ever know that that is open. The Fabri-Tac glue is permanent, so you could even wash this if you wanted to. But just like that, we've covered up that opening, and no one will ever know that that's how you turned your ornament. Which is perfect for me because now all of my edges are nice and pretty. But you could totally do it the way that we've been doing it throughout this entire series, and leaving that opening and then turning, right? This is just an alternative. Yep, Fabri-Tac is washable. I love it. Just like that, right over the slit. And cover that slit right up. And it dries super duper fast and flexible. So there's that one. And we have one more. Let's see, all I have is, let's use this green ribbon. So just like that, put those ends together, and then a little bit of glue right on that slit. Just like that. No one will ever know. Right? No one will ever know. We're just going to let that sit for just a minute. Doesn't it make it so much easier? Yes. What is the width of the ribbon? Let's see if it says. It does. It says 3/8 inches wide, and you get 18 feet on this spool. I think these came from Joann's. 3/8 of an inch wide. Of course, if you're using a thinner ribbon, it might not cover the slit. Maybe. Yeah, you could use a glue gun too. Dari, yeah, doesn't that make it so much easier? It really does. It really does. Oh, Fabri-Tac. Let's see. I order mine through Amazon because I get it a little bit cheaper, and we have Prime, so I don't pay for shipping. But you can find this at Joann's. I've bought it at Michael's. I've also bought it at Walmart. So yeah, you can find this in lots of different places. But I just usually order mine right on Amazon. But I get the free shipping, so it kind of makes sense. And, but yeah, lots of different places carry that. So there's my hangers. So let's see. The gingerbread man, we're going to decorate like I'm going to leave these just classic and patchwork. You could come in with a fabric marker and color his hat in black. You could do that, right? You could decorate him just like a cookie. You could add buttons and sequins and beads, all kinds of ways you could decorate these. But I'm going to break out some puffy paint that is about 8 years old. I was surprised it still worked. And actually my niece Kayla, who was here at the beginning, she was the last one who used these puffy paints. Some of them are actually empty because she decorated like 3 t-shirts when she came to visit one time. So I'm hoping, let's see, I don't know how much, like the white is almost empty. So we're going to make this gingerbread man a girl and use pink. Hopefully there's enough in here. We'll see. And I thought this was really fun because it looks like royal icing. And you could get the kids involved, right? You could make it to this point and then just let them decorate their ornaments. Hopefully, the colors I want to use, there's still some in here. Hey, everybody. Hey, Miss Valerie. Yeah, the gingerbread with frosting. Isn't that cute? Hopefully, there's still some pink in here. Yes. All right. So now we can just decorate our gingerbread man or girl just like you would a cookie, right? You could put the year on there. You could put the kids' names on there and make them a special ornament for the year. There's all different things you could do. But unlike a cookie, I was going to do salt dough ornaments. But y'all, I was struggling. I've experimented, but they kept on cracking.
I didn't understand that.
Hold on a second. I don't know why that wanted to do that. Hazel, I see you. I see your message. My salt dough ornaments kept on cracking, so I didn't want to do that in case you ran into the same issues and went through all of the work making salt dough ornaments and then they cracked. So what's really cute about the fabric ornaments is you don't have to worry about that happening, right? They're not going to crack. And you could just have fun decorating. Oh, I just put my finger in there. Don't do that. So there's our little outline, and we'll do some squiggly little feet like this. And some dots. That'll be cute. Of course, y'all could take your time. I'm kind of going really fast through this. We'll do some straight lines here. I'm getting pink everywhere. That's okay. But isn't that cute? Let me see if I can put some little buttons going down the middle without making a mess. I do think these puffy paints are really old because they're kind of thick and glumpy. And I was going to go to Joann's this week and get some new ones, but again, totally ran out of time. Ah, Judy said the trick with salt dough is to let it air dry and then bake it. See, it was going straight in the oven and it was cracking every single time. So maybe I'll try it that way. I wonder if there's any of this in here. A little bit. Let's do some eyes. Can y'all hear my garage door opening up? I'm right over top of the garage. There. I think that's cute. A million different ways you could decorate it. That's pretty simple though, right? And then you just let it sit and dry until the puffy paint is dry. Michelle, I do not think that would be silly or dorky. I think that would be super cute. Dory said, your Etsy shop must be busy trying to do order and it's still trying to confirm my payment. Sometimes the Etsy site does get bogged down and there will be a little bit of a delay in the processing. But once we're done with the live, if it still hasn't processed, send me a message. But sometimes it does take a few minutes for it to go through. So there's that ornament. Let me bring over the two that we made. The two other ones that we made together. The salvage edge Christmas tree and the snowman. And there's a million ways you could decorate this too if you wanted to. Sometimes I just like the patchwork to show all on its own. Isn't that cute? All right. So I'm just going to leave these on here. If y'all have questions about the ornaments, we can go over that now. And yeah, I know that some people sew with me live and might be in the process of finishing up their ornament. So I want to just chit chat for a second before I transition over. Last week I mentioned that we were going to finish up the Christmas ornament series this week. So this is the last of the Christmas ornaments for 2020. And I mentioned we would do a junk journal series. And several of you asked, and I did not see your comments until after we were done, if I would show some of my previous journals that I've made. So I've brought over a handful of journals. We're just going to quickly look through them. And then I'm going to show you the stuff I've been collecting. And yeah, I think y'all are going to have fun with it. Margaret said a face would be nice on the snowman. Yes. I want to use black, but I know all of my black, she used all my black puffy paint. The black and the white are gone. So I'm going to hold off decorating him until I get some new black puffy paint. You could use a fabric marker too, though, couldn't you? Or some buttons or beads. I guess there's several different ways you could decorate him, but I'm going to hold off on putting a face on him. So that's where we are. Super fun. Classic cookie cutter shapes. I like them a lot. And look how fast. I mean, I did not pre-cut the stuff that we used to make these ornaments today. I was just bringing over scraps and just cutting on the spot, making these little ornaments. I'm going to try to be really careful with this one so I don't mess up her little pink icing. I'll just move her right there to dry. Ooh, embroidery. Yes. That would be so pretty. Ooh, Linda, that raspberry tea is delicious. Let me put some of these tools up. My desk is starting to clear off the further we get into this video. So I hope y'all had fun with those ornaments. They're a lot of fun, aren't they? I like them a lot. Margaret, yeah, you'll have to come back to the replay and watch from the beginning. Super easy and fast ornaments. They really are. And make sure to grab the Gingerbread Man. He's a free pattern in the description box, okay? Now, when it comes to journals, y'all, I love all kinds of journals. I do. I am not partial to any journal, but I've been keeping a journal for a really long time. I use journals in all kinds of ways. I'm a planner, so I have to plan out. I plan out my grocery meals, my grocery trips to the store, my meals. I plan out my appointments and my day. I have a to-do list every single day to help me stay focused and get all my stuff done, right? So that's one way I use a journal. I take notes. I write down things that inspire me. I write down creative ideas for later. So there's all different kinds of ways that I use journals. And several years ago, I would just use spiral notebooks, right? But let's see, when is this dated? 2011. 2011, I came across these sketchbooks. They're not lined, and they're for sketching. But I loved the hard black cover of them, and I loved the paper without lines on it. So I started using the sketchbooks as my journals, right? And I would just take notes. Sometimes I doodle. Yeah, all kinds of stuff in these old sketchbooks. I took a lot of notes at church. I think that's basically the way that I used these two books here, is I took notes. And what's really cool is that one time Kayla came to church with us, and to keep her busy, I let her have my book, and she drew pictures and she wrote her name. This was a long time ago. I traced her hand and Bethany's at the time. This was 2012. So that's forever in my book, and I love it, right? So this is one kind of journal, is that I just use the store-bought sketchbooks that don't have any lines, and I take notes in them. And that is pretty much this book as well. It's just a bunch of notes. I keep little pieces of stuff in there. See how much I've used this one? It's starting to come apart. I make little sketches, all kinds of stuff. I keep little things, little snippets. I believe this was a note that I wrote to my daughter who was drawing on her hand during church. And so, yeah, I kept it. I keep these little tiny things like that. But, yes, this is one style of journal that I love to use. It's the sketchbooks. Then I transformed one of these sketchbooks into my book of everythingness. And this is my planner. This was my planner for, let's see, what year is this dated? What year is this dated? Did I put the date? 2017. This whole book I used for the year 2017. And so I drew out a calendar. Y'all see how much I have to write stuff down and plan my stuff, right? But this was fun because I could get really creative with washi tape. See the side of my book? Isn't that really cool? The different washi tapes. I saved newspaper clippings and recipes. I planned out my week. See this? This is part of my week. We must have been in Vermont because I saved a little sugar packet from the restaurant. And yeah, this is how I used my book of everythingness. Like this was Thursday, December the 22nd. I did a little sketch of candy. I had my to-do list. So this is a lot of fun to go back and look through. But yeah, isn't that fun? Kind of gives you something, you know, exciting to look forward to. You might not want to plan, but this makes it fun, right? You can see I was starting to get into bullet journaling a little bit. But isn't that a lot of fun? You can use stickers and washi tape. You can draw and sketch. But yeah, that's a lot of fun. So that's one of my planners. I just transformed a sketchbook into my planner. I used the metal aluminum tape on the front, and I did like a little patchwork on the front. Let's see. This is one of my quilted journals. This is a piece of a quilt that a lady brought to me to see if I could restore her quilt. And she bought it at an estate sale thinking that it was very vintage. But she brought it to me and I posted it in several groups and it was not vintage. It was like one of those Sears and Roebuck quilts that they sold in the catalog. And once she found that out, she didn't want to pay the money to have the quilt fixed. And the quilt was coming apart in a lot of different places. But I salvaged the good parts of the quilt. And she's like, you can just have it. I don't want to fix it and I can't use it the way it is. And so she gave me the quilt and I cut out the best parts of the quilt and I made some journals out of it. Let's see. Bye, Miss Judy. Angel wants to know, where do you find these books? Walmart. You can find them at Joann's too, I think. But Walmart, in the art section, where they sell the markers and the stuff like that, they have sketchbooks and different kinds of art paper pads, like for watercolors and stuff. This is one of the sketchbooks that they have at Walmart. So this one I used as a travel journal. And this went on a couple trips to Vermont with me. I made this little thing for keeping cards and stuff like that. That's in there. And who knows what all is in here. A bunch of blank paper. There's my old business card. I saved that from a pamphlet that we picked up while we were in Vermont. I talked about hand sewing my binding down on our way to Vermont. So, lots of fun stuff. Here's an antique shop we went to. All kinds of stuff. Let's see. There's a recipe from a Cool Whip container that I must have made while I was there. Talked about our trip a little bit. Look. See, I forgot about this. I entered Dream, Hope, and Love, that mystery quilt that we did, into the Bonneville Fair, and I won the People's Choice Award, the blue award for that. It was the 221st Bonneville Fair. So that's awesome. There's my little wrist bracelet from getting into the fair. So yeah, I just love keeping memories and stuff like this in books. We went to the public house for dinner one night with Harlan's parents. So yeah, that's one of the ways that I use my journals. And what's really cool is that if I wanted to reuse this cover, because I made it like a travel notebook, I could slide these inserts out and put new ones in and keep reusing this over and over again, right? So that's one of my travel notebooks. Let's see, this is a sewing journal. We actually did this one. The sun's going to start coming in. Let me go shut the curtain real quick. Hopefully it didn't get too dark. This was actually a kit that we did. It was a little mini series that we did a couple years ago here on my channel. And it was a kit that you could purchase, and it came with everything to make this journal. And then I walked you through how to make it. But this journal was actually made from a file folder. Just one of those file folders you can get from the Dollar Tree. And I saved up some sewing ephemera and put together this kit just like that. I have not used this journal whatsoever. It's just part of my collection, but it's ready to be used if I ever want to start filling this up, right? So this is a lot of fun. This was a sewing themed journal. File folders. And then, let's see, this was my book of everythingness for last year. And I made this one. This is really fun. It's just like upholstery fabric. I made this one like a textbook block journal. And so that was a lot of fun. That was the first time I had done that. But this has got every single month in this journal. And for each month, there was a little journaling section. There was the little dotted paper for bullet journals. And then the weekly spreads and a monthly spread. So each one of the months was just like this, right? This is actually a kit in my Etsy shop. So if you want to make a monthly planner, you get the monthly spread like this. The weekly spreads that bring you through each one of the weeks. And they're all blank so you can number them. You get the dotted grid paper for bullet journaling. And then you get some lined paper and some blank paper. Because I like all of those kinds of journals. I like it all. So this was my book of everythingness. And I can go back and see what I've done throughout that year. So that's really cool. But I really love the fabric cover because I'm a touchy-feely kind of person, right? So there's that one. Then this was my book of everythingness for the year before that. And this is really special to me because, for one, it's patchwork. It's got my little, I embroidered my monogram on it. This patch was from one of my Nana's sweaters. There's another one on the back. That was her sweater. So I love that. The binding that holds the book together, this was in her sewing kit. It's a fabric tape measure, which is really old. So that's on there. This was her monogram pen that she liked to wear. There's my little baby picture. And then I believe my mom made, it was my mom or my Nana, made this little lace doily that's on the front too. So this was my planner a couple years ago, and I've taken the inside out because I want to reuse this cover. So this was my planner, all the different weeks, and I put pockets in this one. This was her little handkerchief, and this was actually made out of one of those orange folders that have the little hole in it with the little clasp that you can mail packages in. That's what I made the cover for this one out of. And I'll put the patchwork on the front. So, yeah, I'd really like to reuse that one. But I love it. I love the feel of it. It's got some fuzzies. It's got some corduroy kind of materials in it. I put some buttons on the spine of the book. Yeah, I really love that one. Let's see, I have two more. Here's another one. This was also one of my planners. This doily we bought at an antique shop. I can't even tell you which one that one was at this point. And then I put together this. It's got little clear pockets for business cards. Added pockets there. I try to do a quick flip through in case I have anything that's personal in here. Yeah, like passwords and stuff. I don't want to show that. Again, I used the same set, the same journal set, the monthly planner that's in my Etsy shop, I used for the insides of each one of these. I'm just trying to flip through really quick because I know I have in these books some personal stuff. And then I had a section for taking notes at church, so that was a lot of fun. And I just brought this whole book to church, and I would flip to this section when I was ready to take some notes. And these are notes I did in church. And then I usually had a creative section where if I had a quilt idea, I could jot down notes and keep everything all in one place. And then this was my client section, and that has personal information of my clients, so I'm not going to show that. But yes, all of my stuff in one book, and this one book went everywhere with me. And then I'll show you my travel journal. There is a video not that long ago that we made this journal. There's a video for it here on my channel. This again was a file folder made from a file folder, and I walked you through all the steps on how to make this, and so I'll show you the progress of where we are with this journal. This journal was made to go on our trips, our camping trips, and so I've actually used this quite a bit since I've made this journal, y'all. I've used it quite a bit. So we have our first RV adventure. There's Harlan. And the bird goes camping with us, and so he was in his travel cage when I took his picture here. He loves it. He loves to go. And then our first boondocking adventure, we slept in a commuter parking lot overnight. That was a lot of fun. We went to Quinby, Virginia on the Eastern Shore. There's my parents with us. We were by the water. And while we were on the Eastern Shore, we went to a couple antique malls and we grilled out, we played cards, had lots of fun. We broke down on the way home. That was an adventure. But we got it fixed, and my parents came and hung out with us while we were broken down. And then we got stuck in traffic on the way home. This is when we left to go on my mom's surgery to Indiana. And so, yeah, we were doing lives then, and I told y'all about my mom's surgery. This is the day we left. I had a horrible toothache. I won't forget that. There's my mom before her surgery. This was driving out to Indiana. This was we stayed at Indian Lakes. I save all the little places that we go to, the site that we were at. Our daughter Bethany went with us on this trip. We stopped in West Virginia overnight. And then this was my mom once we were in Indiana, getting ready to leave the campground to go to the hospital to have her surgery. So that's really awesome. And just pictures from our trips, y'all. I use this just to document our trips. It's like a scrapbook. It's like a documentation of our travels. It's just a lot of fun. And this is on our way back home. We passed our parents because they were driving so slow. This is another trip we decided back in August to go to see Harlan's aunt when his uncle passed. And on the way back, we stopped by south of the border. So I saved some stuff from south of the border. We're going to be going to this campground after Christmas. We did a selfie. When we got back, we went to Williamsburg campground. There's pictures from that trip. See the bird? He loves to sit outside. And then we went to Vermont. So there's this trip that's in here. We went to the Vermont Country Store. If you've never been there, that's a great place to go. I bought a t-shirt. Y'all know I love The Office, right? So I bought a t-shirt because we were going to Scranton, Pennsylvania once we left Vermont, okay? And we also went and visited Miss Alexis. We stayed the night over at her house. This was the scary bridge right before we got to her house that we almost got stuck in. We got cussed out and everything. That was an adventure. Here's the paper mill from the introduction to the office. We drove right by it. I got a picture of that. We stayed overnight in a Walmart parking lot. Oh, Sally, I did. I skipped right past your picture. Hold on a second. There it is. Let's go back to Indiana for a second. I just went right past it, Sally. Sally came to visit us in Indiana. So this was that morning. We had breakfast, and then we were hanging out, waiting for Sally to show up, and then she came and she spent the afternoon with us. That was so awesome. I did. My pages must have stuck right together, Sally. I'm sorry. Yeah, Sally came to visit us in Indiana. We drove by the paper mill from the office. And then we stopped in Hershey, Pennsylvania because a storm was coming through. So we stopped there and stayed the night. What else? Oh, we've been to Gloucester. They have Dollar Nacho Fridays at Gloucester Campground, so we got nachos. But yeah, this is how I'm using this book. And if you want to see how I put all of this book together, see how much room I still have left in this book? All these blank pages to document trips. And this book generally stays in our camper with us so that I can put the little programs and the site maps and all that stuff in here, and then I can print pictures and put them in here. But if you want to see how I made this journal, there is a video. You might have to scroll through my channel, but yes, I love it. I love it. So that is just an assortment. That's not all of my journal collection of journals that I've made, but that's just a good array of assortments of different kinds of journals I like to make and use for all different kinds of purposes. Now, I do have a couple of cookbook journals. One of them's down in my kitchen, and I meant to bring that one up and show you, but I use handmade journals as cookbooks, and that's really awesome. And one of the things I wanted to do is have an art journal because I love to do little creations like jelly plate printing and using my, what are they called? Embossing folders and just making really cute little pieces of art, right? But I don't know what to do with all those little pieces of art once I've made them. So the journal we're going to make in the next series, I'm going to make into an art journal. So, are you ready to see some of the stuff I'm going to encourage you to start collecting? It's a lot. This is just 1 week in our house, y'all. Of course, my parents live with us. But, yeah, I'm going to show you all this stuff to start saving up. Baby Johnny said, how do you keep stuff from falling out? Well, there's all kinds of ways. You can washi tape stuff in. You can glue it in. Let me bring this travel notebook back before we move all this stuff out. You can washi tape stuff in. The pictures I've just glued right straight to the page. I use the Fabri-Tac glue because it doesn't warp the pictures. Like if you use Elmer's glue, you know your pictures kind of sometimes get warpy. The Fabri-Tac glue does not warp your paper. So I use Fabri-Tac glue to hold a lot of the stuff in my journal. But you can use washi tape. The reason I brought this journal in is because I've actually added some pages to this journal with washi tape, right? That's how that one is staying in there. Washi tape. And I wanted this to still be able to fold out and see all the stuff from south of the border. So I just washi taped it right into my journal. You could staple it. You could pin it in place. You can make some really cute, where was that? What journal was that in? I don't want to get sidetracked, but I want to show you. There was a journal that I made some really cute paper clips from a Joann's. Y'all ever get the little flyers from Joann's? Which book was that in? I made some really cute paper clips. That's not it. Give me just a second. Here it is. This is from a Joann's advertisement. I cut that out, glued it onto some cardboard, and then inserted a paper clip in between two pieces of cardboard. And now that is a really cute way of keeping notes like this in my journal, just like that, right? Paper clip it in there. There we go. But yep, make yourself some cute little paper clips like that. All different kinds of ways you can keep stuff in the journals. Yeah, Sally said you can sew stuff to your pages. I do that a lot. Yes. One thing I love about the journals is that there's really no rules, right? There's no rules. I move all that stuff out of the way. Now, I'm going to show you an assortment of stuff that you can start collecting. I do not want you to go out and buy anything. The journal that we're going to start next week is going to be basically what you would call a true junk journal. The whole book, the cover, and the pages will be made from stuff that ordinarily would have been thrown away or put in the recycling bin. Okay? I've saved 2 toilet paper rolls. Have y'all ever seen embossing toilet paper rolls with embossing folders in your Big Shot? I love it. Let me show you what it does. Well, I covered it up with a doily so you won't see much, but yeah, this was a toilet paper roll. I glued stuff all over it, but yeah, you would have never known that that was a toilet paper roll. So I'm saving my toilet paper rolls to make some art in my new art journal. And I'm going to be out of the camera for a second, and I'm going to make a big ruckus moving all this stuff over. I have saved every cardboard box from the recycling bin this week. So we have some soap boxes, elbow macaroni boxes, donut box. We have the kitchen bag box, macaroni and cheese, pie crust. Some of these will be elements that my journal is made out of, and some of this will be cut apart to be used as tags or pieces of art in my book. So only one of these boxes will be used as the cover, and I'm kind of thinking this is a really great book size for an art journal. So I might use this box as my cover. I haven't decided yet. But then I'm going to save all this too because we can make some tags, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, there's still chocolate in here I have to finish. So I'm saving cardboard boxes. And then, y'all, I have to reach for this stuff because it was all over the place. Oh, reaching. I've saved bags. I have a chips bag, a pasta bag, a clear bag from Yankee Candle, the paper bag from Harlan's teeth cleaning visit. These were filled with the air out of an Amazon shipping box to protect our stuff. I popped the air. I'm saving that. Another noodle bag. This is the paper bag from the caramels that we ordered from Harlan's sister, which were amazing. Those standed no chance for me. The Wawa paper bag from a soft cream cheese pretzel. My mini Sweet Tarts bag. Another clear bag. This was in a package that was sent to me from my friend Linda. And of course some wrapping paper that was also in that package. I'm saving all of this to go in that art journal. That's not it. Hold on a second. That's not it. Let me move all of this stuff over. Oh my goodness. I have rescued so much stuff. So this was an envelope in that package that Linda sent to me. This will make a cute little page in my book. I've been saving all of the scraps from these ornaments and other stuff that I've been making. Actually, this is really big. That'll go back in my stash, and so will this. But a lot of this I'm going to be saving. Who knows? We might use it. We might not. I even have a piece of batting that I've saved. So all my little offcuts we might use. From the mail. We get so much stuff in the mail. I have saved the envelopes. From bills or advertisements. Junk mail. I've saved all of these. We can make our pages out of all of these little envelopes. So I have a whole bunch here. I like the ones that are not white like this. I love that. A green one. Here's another one here too, like that. So I have an assortment of envelopes that I've been saving. And then, of course, the junk mail itself. So I have a Capital One. They want me to get a credit card. So I have all the pages inside this envelope as well that I can use as the pages. I have some little cards. Let's see, this was Dell. This I like because it flips open, right? So this page in my art book will flip open like that. That's really cool. A card. This was for my mom. They want her to come back to Romans and order some stuff. All the healthcare pamphlets that you get. It's kind of like heavy-duty cardstock. That's great for an art journal. Here's some more advertisements. Y'all, I have all of these Joann's, and actually some of them were for Black Friday, but I've been holding on to them. These make great pages, or again, you could cut that out right there and make that into a little paper clip. So I'm saving all of those. This, I think, is one of those things that flips open too. Yep. Little postcards, and Discover wants us to get a credit card as well. And then, okay, so these are my mom's. My mom gets a ton of these magazines. And y'all, this is so much valuable paper in these magazines. Let's see, let's flip them. So, of course, after we look through all the magazines, all of this paper can make up pages in my journal, right? All of these pages. There's even some heavier duty paper, and sometimes there's ones with envelopes and stuff like that. So that's cool. But yes, this is going to be a good base of my paper for my journal right here. So, hopefully that's given you some ideas of stuff to start saving. The only thing that you might need to buy is some glue or stuff that, you know, some extra stuff that you want to use in your journal. You might need some glue. You might need some thread or something like that. But the big majority of the stuff to make up this book that we're doing, a true junk journal, comes from junk. And it saves our landfill a little bit, right? And our recycling box has been a lot lighter to take out this week. But I'm saving until next week as well, so I should have double the amount of stuff to work with. I hope that gives you some great ideas. Yes, Caroline said you can create pockets, tuck spots, add envelopes, use an envelope as a page. I love all of that. Kathy, you say it seems intimidating. You know what? Just seeing that big stack of stuff that I went through, I totally agree. But here's what you can do. There's several YouTubers out there that do these wonderful journals. When you get into the journaling world, there's all kinds of journals, right? There's smash books, there's junk journals. There's, wow, there's so many different kinds of journals. It can get confusing, but just do a search in the search box for junk journals here on YouTube. More than likely, the predominant junk journalers will be the ones that pop up when you do a search, and just watch some of the videos. I think you'll find a lot of inspiration, a lot of ideas, but they also make it a lot more simplifying. I'm just showing you a large selection of stuff that can be used to give you ideas on stuff to save. Now, all of that I just showed you is not going into this book. That book would weigh a ton and it would be humongous, right? But it's just stuff I'm saving in case I want to use any of it. Baby Johnny says, I've been using old cardboard and chalkboard stickers to make reusable gift tags. Yes, that's awesome. Oh, that's such a good idea. I should write that down. Sally, I love I'm a Cool Mom. Yeah, she's a great one to look up. I'm a Cool Mom on YouTube. I have subscribed to her channel. She just released a video this morning. And so she'll make journals with you and do series. But she also will come back on random days and just do a page in that journal and do a layout so you can get ideas for different layouts. And yeah, she's one of the people that I love to watch. Jackie, you just ordered the monthly planner kit. I hope you love it. And to be really honest, I've kind of transitioned over to the Happy Planner for my planning, but not because I don't love making my own books. It's just last year I ran out of time to do it, and I had stuff to plan into the next year, and before I started losing track of that stuff, I just went out and bought a Happy Planner, and I kind of really love it. But that doesn't mean that I won't make smaller planners for specific things. I feel like I've been talking. I hope that wasn't just too much stuff thrown at you. I hope not. So yeah, I said I wasn't in a hurry today, and we've definitely showed a lot of stuff. Let me switch this camera over. Yeah. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, here's the reality of it, y'all. Journaling and making journals and stuff, that is not going to be for everybody. We don't all like the same things. But I hope that even if you've never made a journal before, even if you've never seen it done, even if you don't use journals, y'all can make these and sell them or make them and give them as gifts. Maybe you know someone who's getting married. You could put their wedding invitation in a handmade book and they could use that to keep their mementos from their wedding. You know, baby shower gifts. There's so many different ways you could use these handmade journals, right? So maybe you don't actually use journals yourself, but you could maybe make some for other people. Come give this new series a try and see what you think. Ooh, treasure books. I don't know that I've seen any of her videos. You know, let me get a piece of paper because I'm going to forget all of this stuff. All right. I was going to write down the tags made from cardboard. I didn't want to forget that look like chalkboards. And a treasure books channel. I want to go look at that this afternoon. Thank you. Ooh, Kate from the last homely house. Let me write that down. I'll give her channel a look too. What's really really cool is there's so many different ways you could do it, and everybody kind of has their own unique look to their books, right? If you watch Nick the Booksmith, her journals and her creations sort of have a look all in their own, right? Sometimes I don't even need to see who made the video. When I see her thumbnail pop up, I say, oh, that must be Nick the Booksmith, because I can tell just by what I see that that's going to be one of her videos. I'm a cool mom. Her books have a certain look to them. So when I see her books, I'm like, yep, that's one of her books. And it's kind of funny that once you start making them, it's kind of like quilts too, right? We tend to gravitate towards a certain kind of look throughout our creations. So I like to watch all different kinds of channels because each one of them is different. I want to thank my moderators. Thank you, Mimsy. Thank you, Sally. Thank you, Chantel. Oh, thank you, Sherry. I saw we had something happen at one point today. Thank y'all for taking care of that. I'm going to tell you what, I certainly would not want to do these live videos without having y'all here. It just takes so much stress away from me. So thank y'all so much. And I hope that y'all have enjoyed this ornament series. You know what? If you're extremely new, we're going to do one thing before we go. This might be the first time that you've caught any of my videos. We're going to do a real quick, because I have this basket here. Today we did the cookie cutter ornaments. Y'all, a lot of these patterns are free. So check out, there's a playlist in the description box that brings you over to the videos for all of these ornaments. A lot of these patterns, like this one, was free. We made some applique Christmas trees. We've made the 2020 toilet paper ornaments. Those were a free pattern. Isn't that cute? I must have made a whole bunch of those. We did the Friendship Star quilt block. That was a free pattern. Oh, look, there's another one. We did the snowflake ornaments. Aren't those pretty? Those are so pretty. That's a video we did. We did the churn dash. That was a free block. There's another Christmas tree. The churn dash ornaments. Let's see. The quilted angel. Isn't she so pretty? I love her so much. There was that one. Then the Texas Star quilt block ornaments. I love this one too. That looks very primitive. Probably the fabrics that I used, right? And then there was the little yarn hats, which I absolutely love. We put one of these on my cockatoo. He let me do it too, but it lasted all of about 10 seconds, and then he played unwinding all of the yarn off of the hat. So I'm missing one now. But yeah, the little yarn hats, the Texas Star, the churn dash, all of these ornaments are in this playlist. So I hope y'all have fun. If this is your first time here, go check out these videos. Lots of free patterns in there too. So yeah, this is a great way to wrap up this series with the classic cookie cutters. And it's been a lot of fun. Now I have about 30 ornaments to add to my collection or to start giving away to people. Caroline, this is your first time here. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for hanging out with us. Sally, no. I think we've decided not to put the tree up this year. I think we're not going to put the tree up this year. I'm a little bah humbuggish. I don't know, y'all. I've just not been feeling it. And every time I think about pulling all that stuff out, I just feel so stressed out just thinking about it. And I don't know that it's worth adding stress. We'll probably put the tree up. But right now, I just don't want to. So I'm not going to. Not right this minute. I'm not going to put my tree up. I don't know why the thought of pulling out all of those boxes sucks the life right out of me. Just the thought of it. But yeah, we're going to put something up. We're going to decorate some kind of way because the kids are coming for Christmas Eve. Unless the governor at 2 o'clock is telling us right this minute that you cannot do that, we might break the law. I don't know. But our plan is right now for the kids to come on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So I can't just have nothing in the house that looks like Christmas. So even if we don't put the tree up, I have a couple throws and quilts that are Christmassy that I can put out. But I just can't do it if it's gonna just suck the joy out of me. I just can't do it right this minute. And then we're leaving the day after Christmas for 2 weeks. So the thought of getting back and taking all that stuff down just to put it right back in the closet. Well, it's not even a closet, it's like a storage thing. Oh, it's just so much. I just can't do that right now. Oh, y'all have 4 trees. Baby Johnny has 4 trees. My aunt puts out 11 trees every single year. I don't know how she does it. She starts like at the 1st of October. She has the trees that spin around all by themselves. She has gigantic trees. She has mini trees and all range in between. They're all themed. Like this is the Hallmark tree. This is the all white tree. This is the angel tree. This is that tree, you know. It's beautiful to look at. It's beautiful. I can't seem to muster the will to even want to pull out my stuff this year. I feel really Scrooge-ish about it. But if it's going to make me a grumpy, I'd rather be happy like I am right this minute and not pull out my tree and just enjoy Christmas than to pull out my tree and be exhausted and stressed out and be grumpy when the kids come. I don't know. That's just my thought. Oh, someone's doing rental trees. Now that might be a good idea. Here's the bummer part of it, y'all. Harlan really wants to put the tree up. Last year, we bought a brand new Christmas tree. It is gigantic. It's like a 12-foot tall tree. Pre-lit is gorgeous. I'm not saying we're not putting up that tree. I'm just saying we haven't yet. And I don't know that we're going to do it today or tomorrow or this weekend. Oh, the creative chica. She said, we decorated, but no tree. They have a little table topper, 1-foot tree out. That sounds wonderful. That sounds so great. It really does. Yeah, I think, making the ornaments, that's been pretty that's about as festive as I'm getting this year, I think. Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much. I love the support that I get from y'all. Because when I start feeling really guilty about not putting the tree up. But, yeah, and then I see your comments and I'm like, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. All right, y'all. So here's my challenge for the next week. Start saving your junk. When you get ready to throw something in the recycling or the trash can, say, I wonder if I could use this in a book. And start saving a little stash. We're going to have a lot of fun. This might be something that you've done before, and it might be something that you've never even attempted and never even heard of. I hope either way that it's a place for you to come next Thursday and the following Thursdays just to come hang out with us, even if you're not going to do it. Just come hang out with us. We enjoy seeing you and the fellowship and a good time throughout our week to take our mind off of all of the other stuff that's going on, right? Yeah. All right, everybody. I've really enjoyed today. I hope to see you next Thursday. Let me find this button. Here we go. Okay. See y'all next week. Bye, everybody.